and good, bright, and beautiful morning. It is Racine Family Mornings, time for some wonderful, wonderful stuff going on. So first of all, let's start with, if you do find any value in this content today, click like, subscribe, turn on that notification bell so you don't miss any of the future content. That's if you're on YouTube. If you're not on YouTube, because you're some of my fam on Facebook, then give me a thumbs up, give me a heart, even get mad at me. I would really just love to have some interaction with you. I'd love to see a comment so that I can talk to you, because I can actually see the comments right up here, right up there on a screen that you can't see, but that's all right. I would love to have a comment from you, love to have some interaction. Tell me what you think of these morning broadcasts. Do they have any value for you? If they don't, tell me what you think would be of value for you. I would love, love, love that. Today I'm going to actually tag followers. I don't actually generally like when people tag followers. It is like my least favorite thing when people tag @followers for everything. But I am going to tag it today because today is Stats Snap Wednesday, so Stats Snap. So we are going to go over what happened in the last week in real estate and here in Southeast Wisconsin and how that would be awesome for you. And especially this week, there's some awesome news. So that's why I want to make sure you get this news. So let's start with, what is the Stats Snap? Every Wednesday, what we do is we take a snapshot of what's happened in real estate. So when I'm going to talk here in a second about the homes listed, sold, under offer, etc., that is all from the dates of let's see here. So that is from the 22nd and go back a week through Sunday. What was Sunday? See, I'm terrible. Don't even know the dates. I know the dates. All right. So that is from the 16th through the 22nd. Those are the dates of those solds, listed, etc. We send out an email every Tuesday around noonish. We try to make it at noon. Sometimes it doesn't go out till later. But every Tuesday morning, we get up, we check on what's happening with interest rates. So the interest rates come from Tuesday morning. So it's not off by a whole lot. But Tuesday to Tuesday seemed a weird thing to do, like the stats, like the weekly stats. So, and especially since a lot of agents don't always put their details in when they should. So, or they, like if they get an accepted offer over the weekend, they put it in later. So we put that Sunday in the week, which gives agents a chance to do that, because a lot of agents don't put data into the MLS on Sundays. So we do it from Sunday to Saturday is our snapshot. All right. So what's been happening this last week and why is it relevant to you? Well, first of all, last week there were 68 homes listed. Our number of homes that are listed is rising, not rising as much as it should. We really need, every single week, we need there to be probably closer to 200 homes to really start to balance out our market. And right now there's still only 68 a week that is getting listed. Because keep in mind, this is all of Kenosha and Racine counties. All the whole of the counties. We pull all the stats together as a combined, because it's a snapshot of this whole southeastern Wisconsin area. And we really probably should have about 200 a week. That's really only 800 houses a month. And when you look at the vast area that's covering, it might seem like a lot of houses to you. If we were even at 500, we'd be thrilled, because we haven't been there for quite a few years and we really need to be. But last week there were 68 homes listed. 74 homes went under contract. Now that's problematic. And the reason that's problematic is because if our accepted offers and solds outpace our listeds, then that is where inventory goes really low and gets really tight. And that's what causes house prices to climb, because people are like, I got to get a house and I have to give this in order to get a house. So we really, really, really want the listeds and the homes under contract to be about the same, or even the homes under contract a little bit less, because there's always some homes out there. There's always some delusional sellers out there. I don't work with them, but there are agents that work with them. There are agents whose entire business model is strictly about not giving advice, not doing it. They just go with whatever the client wants and does whatever the client wants and doesn't even give them any kind of direction, any kind of help, any kind of assistance. They're just like a yes man. I couldn't do that. First of all, because I'm not a yes man. If you know me, you know me. It wouldn't work. But secondarily, I don't think that's what's best for people. I got to tell people the facts. I got to give people the data. I got to give people the truth. Otherwise, this is a problem. So, 68 homes listed, 74 under contract. That's a little problematic. We need that to be under that 68 number of listeds. Here's one, though, that was shocking to me this week. 34 homes sold last week. Okay, now the middle of the month is always going to be a little bit lower. But we've been having about between 55 to 70 homes listed every week. We've had between 55 to 70 homes going under offer every week. And this has been for the past months. We do this all the time. We've been doing these stats. Even though we haven't been coming live and sharing them with you, we've been doing these stats for years. And last year, we started sending them out every single week to everybody. So we've done this. I have every single stat from August of last year all the way through now for every single week. I have a snapshot and I can pull up my spreadsheet and say, okay, this is what happened this week. But 34 homes sold is a shockingly low amount for the middle of the month. What that tells me is that some of those homes that got accepted offers 2 weeks ago, flat out, 4 weeks ago, flat out didn't sell. That means there might be some inventory out there for you buyers, because we do have quite a few available homes for sale in the area. And you know what? I actually just thought, that's actually a really good stat that we should probably add. I'm going to write this down because I think we should add how many available homes are there out there. We're going to add that. Available homes to buy. There we go. Wrote my note down. That's going to get added. So next Tuesday, anybody who's already in our StatSnap email is going to get that. Now, I will also tell you that if you want this StatSnap, I didn't mean to go behind myself there. Let's go like that. Let's do that, camera. If you want to get that email every Tuesday, StatSnap is what you need to send to 262-676-2383. So if you want to get that email every week about the StatSnap, send a text to 262-676-2383. What it means is that not only will you get that, but you'll get that StatSnap email every single week. So you get that quick snapshot of what's happening. You will also every quarter get a really big picture look. And at the end of the year, you're going to get an overall view. Now, if you are a homeowner, this is actually really important information. You should be paying attention to this. Even if you are not looking to buy or sell, you should know what's going on, because your home is your biggest. Some people don't want to call it an asset because it's not really technically falls into the category of what an economist would call an asset. But it is your biggest investment of money. And it is the thing that will pay you the most money out of any investment probably in your life. The only exception might be if you buy that winning lottery ticket, but your chances of that are pretty low. You got a better chance of winning on a house than you do of winning on the lottery, like by 1,000,000 to 1. So every week I send this out, and then every quarter. So if you text me StatSnap to 262-676-2383, I will make sure, I will communicate back and forth with you then, and I will make sure that you get on the list so that every Tuesday you get this. Now, it might be so good that you might want to tune in on Wednesdays to hear the analysis and get it more direct like this. But as far as seeing it, it's almost like, you're getting the homework ahead of time, so you get to see it, and then I get to talk about it, and you get to hear it. And everybody in the world of teaching says, when you see it, when you read it, and you hear it, and then you see it, it actually cements it in your brain and it makes you very knowledgeable. And I want you to be knowledgeable about your house and about what's going on in real estate. Okay, so 34 homes sold is shockingly low. That shouldn't be that. And that shockingly low is now added things in here. The last week's average sold price was quite high, though. It was $377,480. Now, the nice good thing about this is that that's just 1 week. And sometimes more expensive homes will sell in 1 week and less expensive homes won't close on a week. In fact, to be honest with you, the less expensive homes almost always close at the end of the month. There are reasons for that. Maybe we'll talk about it on another broadcast, or if you want to know, text me. But generally speaking, the more expensive homes close at any time of the month, and the least expensive homes usually close at the end of the month. So either this month, that's going to be the 28th or the 31st. Either of those, both those two dates are going to be big closing days. And It has to do with prorations and things like that. That's why. So lower priced homes always sell near the end of the month, not the beginning of the month. And not in the middle for sure. I mean, the higher price homes almost always sell in the middle. So, because it's easier, because they can get into the closing company. They don't have to faff about, as like Russ likes to say. He likes to use that term, faff about with things. All right, so we know how many listed, under contract, sold, last week's average price, and we are also going to tell you that last week, the fixed rate mortgage, we are now solid in the 6. The 30-year fixed rate mortgage is 6.64. This is almost down to what it was. So when I first started in real estate back in 2013, it was actually in the low 6s. So we are creeping down to what interest rates were 12, 13 years ago. All right. So the national average fixed rate for a 15-year, I told you we were going to go into the 5s, 5.87. Boom. We hit the 5s, folks. And if you can handle doing a 15-year mortgage, you will lock in a 5.87. Now, I realize that some of you may have locked in a 2 point something on what you currently own, but 5.87 is super manageable for most people who are financially stable. If you can't handle a 5.87 interest rate, okay, that's problematic. Now, you might not be able to handle the 15-year mortgage part. I get that. But if you're selling your home and buying another, you're going to be putting down a huge chunk of equity from your home that you own now onto that new home. So you might be fine with a 15-year mortgage because you might be upgrading and you might be okay with that because you might not have a big bump up in your mortgage. And that's the thing people keep forgetting. People keep focusing so much on interest rate, and they're forgetting about their equity. And that equity kind of helps a lot with that interest rate. It does not make it bump up quite so much. So if you wanted to buy a home with an FHA, 700 credit score, 40% down, your principal and interest could be well under 2,000. And that's for the average home of 327,000. So that's actually not bad. If it's a $327,000 house, pretty darn good house. If you wanted to buy a home with 20% conventional, that would be possibly $1,700. Around $1,730 as your principal and interest payment. Again, not bad for a house that's $327,000. Many of you are paying close to that anyway. People that I actually sold homes to people who bought a house that was only $150,000 back in the day, and they were paying almost $1,300 then. $500 up might seem like a lot of money, but it actually isn't when you know you're upgrading your house to double the size of your house, or doubling up. That is a big increase. All right. But that is all we have time for because we are getting really dangerously close to that 9 o'clock. And I promise you every day I come live at 8:45 and I'm gone by 9 o'clock so that you can get this in before work, or so it's only this quick snap, boom, and we're done. Join me tomorrow because tomorrow I'm going to be doing Deal of the Week, and I love Deal of the Week. It's so much fun. It is like the best home that is out on the market, and this week I think I'm going to pull it from available homes, not necessarily new listings. I'm going to search through the available homes, through some of the stuff that's been aging out there, and see if there's a really good deal for you guys. So join me tomorrow for Deal of the Week, and I will see you tomorrow morning at 8:45. Bye for now.